Hello and good morning. I'm Andrew Mull with AARP. Thank you for joining us today and participating in this very special holiday teletown hall to talk about fraud and scams. The holiday season is a time of family, relaxation, and celebration, but unfortunately it's also prime time for scammers. As we shop online, contribute to charities, and send presents to our loved ones, criminals out there are on the hunt for ways to steal our hard-earned money and our personal information. Today, we are joined once again by Carmen Millian, CEO of the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana. Carmen is going to cover fraud and scams that are impacting Louisianans and to help explain to you what you can do to protect yourself this holiday season. But we also want to hear from you. So later on in the call, we will have audience questions like we do each time we have one of these teletown halls. So if you have a question you'd like to ask, just press *3 on your telephone keypad to be connected with an AARP staff member who will take your name and your question and will put you in the queue. And before we get too far into our conversation today, I want to let our folks in Shreveport know that this Saturday, November 8th, there is a free shredding event at the Sheriff's Safety Town on Jewella Avenue from 9 to 11 a.m. So that's Saturday, November 8th, Sheriff's Safety Town, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You can bring your tax documents, bank documents that you would like to have safely shredded, because as Carmen, I'm sure, will share with us this morning, your documents that you put in your trash can are another way for fraud scammers to take your personal information. So we want our folks in Shreveport to know about that special event this Saturday. So let's get started. I'm happy to welcome Carmen to the call. Carmen is, again, the CEO of the Better Business Bureau of South Central Louisiana. She's worked for the BBB for over 40 years, and her office covers more than 12 parishes in the Baton Rouge area with the primary focus of providing the community with information that affects businesses and consumers. Welcome, Carmen.
Thank you, Andrew, for having me.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to join us. So let's get started by learning a little bit more about what the Better Business Bureau does and what you do to keep our Louisianans safe from scams and fraud.
Well, just like AARP, the Better Business Bureau's main service is providing information to consumers, really to help you make an informed decision. You are your best line of defense. We try to teach consumers and businesses what to look for before they become a victim. And of course, it's the Better Business Bureau can only be as effective as you allow us to. And so, of course, we always want consumers to call the Better Business Bureau anytime they have a question about a call, an email, a text, or whatever. It's best to let us investigate it before you get involved.
Fantastic. And I know we're going to have a lot of questions. And so quickly for anyone, and if you want to ask a question, please hit *3 on your keypad right now, and that'll put you into the queue. You'll have someone here from AARP screen your call, take your information, and then we'll get you into the queue to where you can ask Carmen. Right now we don't have a whole lot of questions in the queue, so now is a chance without a whole lot of waiting that you can get your question right to Carmen. So please hit *3 now if you have any question about how to avoid fraud, avoid scams, or any fraud or scams that you've seen out there in your community. Again, Carmen, we're so grateful to have you joining us today. One of the things that, since we're in the holiday season, one of the things that we see a lot of are gift cards. They're a popular item, especially for older kids, grandkids, but they're not always a sure thing. Last year, almost 1/3 of people that AARP surveyed had given or received a gift card with a balance that had been stolen. 1/3. So what is a safe way to purchase one of these popular gift cards, which we all use? I think it's safe to say the majority of us have used gift cards in the past and plan on using them again.
Well, I can tell you right now, that's one of my go-to gifts is a gift card, because it's essentially giving somebody that you love money so that they can go spend or buy whatever they want. And it takes the worry out of the gift. But you do need to be cautious. You need to understand who you're purchasing that gift card from and how they're protecting those gift cards before they're purchased. Because most of the scams where people buy a gift card and they go to use it and there's no money on it, it's because somebody, there are scammers that are in your community that will actually go to stores and take the numbers, the information off the gift cards, and they will just try those gift cards periodically until they get a hit and remove the money. So you need to be cautious about where you buy it. Whoever has the gift card, are they protecting it? Are they behind the counters? Of course, one of the safest ways is to go directly to the store and purchase. Like if you're going to go to a clothing store, you want to buy it directly from that clothing store. That's some protection. But if you're going to buy a Visa or MasterCard, a cash card essentially, you want to make sure what the protections are. You need to make sure that the card has not been tampered with, that it's still intact. Maybe not pull the first one off the top, but also make sure that gift card is behind the counter if at all possibilities, because there are some places that sell gift cards that don't pay attention to who's looking through them.
Yeah, I was about to add that even in a store, you're not 100% protected, but there may be a little bit more protection. But you still have to be diligent and careful, even if you're purchasing a gift card in a shop or a store. Let's go to the phones now. We have Dorsey Meters from Haynesville on the call, and we're going to go directly to her so she can ask her question. Dorsey, are you on the phone?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead and ask your question, Dorsey.
My question is, I receive several calls every day, sometimes 50 calls a day, and they all fraudulent calls, scam calls, I guess. How do I get rid of those?
Yeah, that's the question of the century. You can have all the laws you want. If you can't enforce them, they're not really effective. And these scammers are really good at what they do. So when they call, they can manipulate the phone system. They can call you from one number. If you don't respond, they'll call you from another number. They can even put, for instance, they like to use IRS. They can even on the phone show that it's the IRS calling with the IRS's phone number when in fact it's not. So these scams these scammers are very savvy, and it's very hard to stop it because we find that most of the calls that you're getting, the scam calls, are not from somebody in the United States, somebody in a foreign country. The best thing to do, there's no easy fix, and there is no permanent fix, I can tell you right now. One of the things that we recommend is that you, even if you block them, they can call you from another number. But one of the things that we recommend is that you call your telephone company, whoever you have your service through, and ask what they can do to help you, navigate that. How do you stop some of those, or at least show those as scam calls? The main thing you need to do is if you don't recognize the call and they don't leave a message, don't answer it, because you don't know who's on the other line, no matter what they tell you.
Thank you, Carmen. The other thing to mention with the holidays upon us is that so much shopping has gone online recently, and it really ramps up during the months of the holidays, November, December especially, for people who are doing so much of their shopping on the internet. We have Constance on the line from Thibodaux, and I'm going to get Constance in here because she has a question as well about online shopping. Constance, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All right, Constance, go ahead and ask your question.
Well, my question pertains to online shopping in regards to the most safe way to prevent being compromised online. I do some shopping online. Most of my shopping is for the holiday times now that I'm doing it. And I am just a bit leery, but wanting to know what precautions or what is the best or safe way in ordering and making certain that I'm not being compromised.
That's a really good question. And this is what you need to first of all understand is that if you're going to shop online, you need to investigate the company that you're going to be shopping with. These companies, some of them are valid, some of them are not, will post these videos that are amazing. And, you can get all these wonderful deals, but you still need to investigate the company. You need to make sure that the site that you're ordering it from is protected. Does it start with HTTPS that says secure? Is there a lock and key somewhere on that site? And I always like to do this. If I go to a site that I want to order something, I always scroll down to the very bottom, and usually they should have information that says where they're located, their phone number, what to do if you have a problem, what are their return and refund policies are. You need to look at all that. If it has very little information, you need to be concerned. Before you place that order, call the Better Business Bureau. We'll look into it for you. The other thing is you want to make sure that how you pay is so important. Don't use a cash card and don't use your debit card because that's like them getting cash. If you're going to purchase it, use something like PayPal or a credit card so that you don't actually pay for it until you receive the merchandise. Maybe have a tracking thing placed on it so that you know when to expect it. But you need to investigate it before you place that order.
So, Carmen, you're saying that if a website is referred to me or I stumble across a website that has some gifts that I might want to purchase or buy, I can actually check with y'all first to see if that's a verified website and if it's safe?
Absolutely. And we're going to give you some advice on how to protect yourself, even more so than I'm doing now. But you need to check with us before you purchase it. But you have to also be careful, even if they are a valid company. You want to make sure how you pay. That's probably one of the most important things as well. Because if you pay with a debit card and you never receive the merchandise, then you have to fight getting your money back. So call us. When in doubt, call us, and we're going to give you advice. You will still be able to make your own decision, but we're hopefully going to give you some advice to help you make a smart decision.
And while we're on that topic, how do we call you, Carmen? How do we check in with the Better Business Bureau on something like this?
Well, there are a couple of ways. Of course, you can always go to our website, bbb.org, or you can just call us at 225-346-5222. If all else fails, email us at info@batonrouge.bbb.org.
Okay. Hold on to those because we'll repeat them a couple more times throughout the duration of this call. If you want to ask a question of Carmen, please hit *3 on your keypad. That will put you into the queue, and our fabulous AARP staff will screen your call and get you over to Carmen so she can answer your question. So again, *3 on your keypad if you would like to ask a question of Carmen as we're approaching the holiday season. The other thing that we've been seeing a lot of, especially during the holidays and especially now that everybody is so social media savvy, is online ads. They've become really enticing. And it's not uncommon to see a professional ad for a new product from a company you've never heard of before. It happens all the time, it seems like. What should people do before clicking on those ads or hitting a purchase?
Of course, we want you to be safe. Look for the company information, get as much information as you can, and check with the Better Business Bureau. But also hover on the URL and see what pops up. There should be information that will tell you, who's actually sending that. You also want to look for things like misspellings or. But I will. Having said that, I will also say this: with AI, artificial intelligence, scammers are getting better at making these ads look valid, look legitimate. They can cut and paste things and from other companies. They can use testimonials from famous celebrities to make it look valid. Don't assume that everything that you see in that ad is real. Investigate it. Look at reviews. Dig deep before you make that purchase. And, of course, the most important thing on that is to understand what the company's refund policy is. And, again, before you purchase, always use a safe way to pay, credit card or PayPal, something like that, in case you don't receive the merchandise it was misrepresented. You have an opportunity to get your money back or at least not be charged for it.
Fantastic. Again, just a quick reminder, hit *3 if you want to ask Carmen a question, and we have a question we're about to go to right now. You can also hit *3 to share a fraud story or a scam story that either you've heard of or that's happened to somebody you know. So again, *3, that'll get you into our queue where one of our AARP staff members will screen your call, and then we'll get you over to Carmen. We have Linda on the call who has a question about online charities. We're going to go to Linda. Linda, are you there?
Yes, I am. I have a question. I have been bombarded with different organizations reaching out for me to donate to their charity. And so how do I know if these organizations are legitimate or not? I love to give. It's that time of the year, but I never know if the organization is legitimate. So any help with that would be greatly appreciated.
We can help you in a couple of ways. The Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance does monitor charities, and it basically evaluates each charity by 20 standards to determine where the money's going, how much of the money's going to the cause, where the money's actually going, that sort of thing. And we actually have booklets. You can call the Better Business Bureau, and we'll mail you one. Or you can just go online to give.org, which is our Wise Giving Alliance. But one of the things I like to tell people is if you give and it makes you feel good, but the money didn't go to the cause, you've defeated the purpose of giving. The second thing I like to tell consumers is that you need to monitor your giving, but you also need to be realistic. You cannot give to every organization that calls you. I always tell people, think of what affects your life or has affected your life in the past. My mom died of a heart attack. My dad died of cancer. Okay, those may be two areas that I might want to help. You may want to help with food distribution, that sort of thing. Pick one or two organizations, investigate those organizations, and give your money to those organizations. And if you so choose to give to another one randomly, investigate it before you give. But you have to monitor your giving. We can do that for you. Just call the Better Business Bureau. We'll get you some information on those organizations. But you need to understand where your money's going. Is it staying local? How much of the money I'm giving is actually staying local? You need to ask those questions. And just because somebody's calling you on the phone and they're asking you for a donation and they're making you feel bad, because a lot of times they do that pity party, which, maybe a harsh thing to say, but they do. And in some cases when they do that, it's a professional promoter. So you need to understand if there's a professional promoter involved, that means they're getting a percentage of the money. Never allow somebody to make you agree to make a donation until you've investigated. If they tell you you have to make the donation now or you won't get the opportunity, or they make you feel guilty, hang up the phone. Call the Better Business Bureau, and we'll check on the organization for you.
Thank you. You can also go to charitynavigator.org to do your own research as well. But thank you again, Carmen, for that resource. And just a quick reminder, if you're in the Shreveport area, we have a free shredding event this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Sheriff's Safety Town on Jewella Avenue. You can bring your tax documents, bank documents, and they are safely shredded. We see so many fraud and scams from stealing people's personal information. This is a great way to get rid of those personal documents and safely have them shredded. You can bring up to 3 boxes of documents and drop them off with us. We'll have them shredded for you live, on site, so you get to see them get shredded, and then you can go on your way. It's a free event. And again, it's this Saturday, November 8th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. at the Sheriff's Safety Town on Jewella Avenue. Also, we have a free shredding event here in Baton Rouge on Saturday, November 15th. So 1 week from Saturday at the East Baton Rouge Parish Main Library on Goodwood Boulevard. That's, again, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., but that's on November 15th. So a week from this Saturday, you can also participate in our free shredding event here in Baton Rouge. So Shreveport, November 8th, Baton Rouge, November 15th. Please come. If you want to ask a question of Carmen, we're going to wrap up here pretty soon, but it's still not too late to ask her a question. You can hit *3 on your keypad. You'll get right into the queue where you can ask Carmen a question. We're running out of time to do that, so now is your time to ask her a question, and you'll be connected with an AARP staff member who's going to take your name and your question, and they'll place you in the queue. So let's talk packages. We tend to get a lot of boxes on the front step this time of year. What should we be doing to keep those safe, Carmen?
Yeah, we call them porch pirates, and it happens all the time. It happens more than you think, and it not only happens during the holiday time. It happens year round. It just happens. Most people make more purchases online to be delivered during Christmas, and so what we recommend is that you try to use security cameras. That's going to help at least find out who is actually taking those packages. Make sure that you have the packages shipped to a secure location, some place where it's not really out in the open, that it's at least somewhat hidden. Try to be home for deliveries. I know that's hard. And if you're not going to be home, you might want to talk to one of your neighbors and say, hey, look, I'm expecting a package. Can you keep an eye on it? I know we do that in our neighborhood to help each other. You can get a lockbox. You can, if it's something valuable, then you want to make sure that you have a signature request so that they won't actually leave it there without a signature. Again, you might also want to have a neighbor look out for you, but be very cautious. You can have a tracking thing where they tell you can monitor the tracking when you expect it to be delivered, so you can make sure if you're not home, somebody will get it for you. Don't leave those packages on your front porch for very long. Somebody's going to be driving through. We've had it in our neighborhood, just all these people just drive through, and that's what they're looking for. So be very cautious, have a plan, and just keep an eye out for each other, you and your neighbors, if you're going to be ordering things online.
And I will say that Amazon and UPS have both gotten a lot better about putting packages in the backyard, on your back porch, by your back door. You can even sometimes leave a note on the app that will indicate that you want the package left in the backyard. Now, not everybody maybe has an accessible backyard, so if you don't have one that's accessible, that might make it kind of tough. Or if you live in an apartment, it might make it tough. But if you do have that accessibility, then that's something you can do through Amazon or through UPS. All right, so we have a couple more questions. I'm going to go to Amy, who has a question. about tax documents. We were just talking about that.
I have a comment that you just made about UPS. I've had bad experience. This is Amy. I've had bad experience. I've had bad experience with UPS bringing me a package that did not belong to me. And they wanted me to take responsibility to bring it to somewheres in town, and I refused to do it. So I was going to call the police, but luckily somebody came that knew how to get in touch with UPS and whatnot and got that package removed from my dwelling. But my question for me is, how long should I keep my tax documentation?
Great question. Carmen?
Okay, well, we have, and that's one of the things that we can share with you is a list of things that you need to keep. Probably the longest is, I would say, 5 to 7 years. And honestly, if you really want to get a really firm thing, you can go to the IRS website and it'll tell you. But we normally say 5 to 7 years. That's the longest I would keep something. Now, you need to keep your titles to your vehicles, your homes, that sort of thing, lifetime. But tax documents, 5 to 7 years would probably be the max.
Okay, thank you, Carmen. That's very helpful. All right, well, once again, we want to thank Carmen Millian with the Better Business Bureau, and we really want to thank everybody for joining us today. We're almost at 10:30, which is our stop time, so we apologize if we were unable to answer your question. But if you stay on the line, you will be able to leave us a voicemail with your question or comment. You can also get valuable information through different AARP publications on our website at aarp.org or by calling 1-888-687-2277. So plenty of great information through our AARP magazine, our bulletin, our website, again, aarp.org, or again by calling 1-888-687-2277. And I'll plug one more time the 2 shredding events that we have coming up here in the month of November. These are free shredding events. We have Shreveport free shredding event this Saturday, November 8th, 9 to 11 a.m. at the Sheriff's Safety Town on Jewella Avenue, 9 to 11. It's free. Bring your tax documents, your bank documents that you want to have shredded. We'll do that for you there on site. We also have a free shredding event in Baton Rouge on Saturday, November 15th at the East Baton Rouge Main Library on Goodwood Boulevard. So that's 9 to 11 for both of those events. Shreveport's is Saturday, November 8th, and Baton Rouge is Saturday, November 15th. And for Amy, who just asked the question about the IRS documents, tax documents, and Carmen, who answered that question, you can always go to www.irs.gov to get up-to-date information on how long you should be keeping those tax documents. So I wanted to add that before we wrap up. Again, want to thank everybody. Please be safe during the holidays. And call us if you have any questions. Once again, 888-687-2277. Check us out on aarp.org. Thank you and goodbye.